What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live, powered by BetUS here on a Monday. The trade deadline is 10 days away. We're going to discuss the latest rumors across the NBA, and Dame makes his return to Portland tomorrow night as the Blazers will take on the Milwaukee Bucks. We also got 12 games for picks against the spread that we're going to pick from, which should be a lot of fun. We got a couple 4 p.m. tip-off times. We got a lot of 4:30 p.m. tip-off times. So we're going to pick those games. First, let's take a look at the standings. Chat, you guys continue to lead it, and you guys had a 5-4 day. We struggled 46-71 last Thursday. Connor and Jackson there at the bottom with the 2 worst days. Connor at 1-8. That was a brutal day for him. My condolences. The best day belonged to Stephen Vaughn with a 6-3 record. I went 5-4. Chat, as I said, went 5-4. Eric went 5-4. And then everybody else below 500. It was not a pretty day for us. Anyway, those are the picks against the spread standings. Let's jump into the first game. Once again, if you're new to picks against the spread, this segment is a bunch of BetUS spread lines, all right? And if you want to get in on the action with BetUS, use promo code YouTube150 for 150% deposit match on your first deposit, 125% matches on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000, and you can get in on these spread lines, and you can maybe tail Chat's picks, as Chat has been doing very well the past couple of years in this. And the first game that we got the Lakers on the road against Charlotte. The Lakers are 5-point road favorites. Injuries for this game: out for the Lakers, Christian Wood, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent. And then out for the Hornets is Grant Williams, Brandon Miller, Trey Mann, and Cody Martin. So yeah, once again, if you're new, Chat gets a chat poll. Everybody else makes their picks. You're picking based off the spread line. So for the Lakers to be the correct pick, they need to win by more than 5. If they win by less than 5, or if the Hornets win, then they are the correct pick. All right. Arrow hopefully is here to put picks in chat. There he is. Love it, love it, love it. And then once again, we get into the topic of the show after picks against the spread is done. Picks against the spread, this is going to be a long segment today as we got 12 games, a massive slate of games. Of course, the Blazers were the only team to play yesterday. Well, them in Oklahoma City, of course. So a lot of games today instead. So we got a bunch of Lakers picks in the chat. We got Eric Lakers, Arrow Lakers, Trevin Lakers. Chat right now is loving themselves some Lakers. Vote in the chat poll. The percentages do matter for double downs, which we'll get into at the end. 503 going Lakers. Brendan Lakers, Javon Lakers. Lots of Los Angeles Lakers on the board. If only we had Eric on the screen, man. We got Zach. This might be an island for him. He's going Hornets. And then Jackson, Connor. Yeah, Jackson, Connor. And Javon went Lakers, and Chat going Lakers. 83% of the vote for Chat. So this is gonna be an island for Zach. Oh, crushes Hornets too. Never mind, no island for Zach. Zach and Crushables are going with the Lakers. Everybody else, or Zach and Crushables are going with the Hornets. Everybody else is going Lakers. All right, that's game number 1. 11v2 in favor of LA. Game number 2, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Detroit Pistons. If you want to double down on either one of these games, let me know right now, as these games are tipping off momentarily. We got the Cavs. They've been struggling lately. They're hosting the Pistons, who are in playoff position. The Cavs, though, 11-point home favorites. Out for the Pistons is Jaden Ivey, and then out for the Cavs, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, and Karis LeVert. All right, so I'm going to go Pistons. Eric is going to go Pistons. Arrow's Pistons. We got Trevin Pistons, Crushable's Pistons. Brendan is Pistons. All right, we got Steven Cavs, Jackson Cavs, Zach Cavs. Trevin going with Detroit basketball. We got Connor. He's going to double down on the Pistons. I was thinking about doubling down Pistons, but I'm going to hold off. Lots of games to choose from. I feel like I should feel better. Javon going to go Pistons. And then chat right now. We got 100% on the Pistons. We got 43 watching, only 6 votes in the chat poll. So make sure you get your vote in the chat poll. Because right now, this is looking like a Detroit Pistons double down for chat. All right, 100% of the vote. We'll see if there's a tie at any point, but this is looking like chat's double down. All right, we got a 9v4 in favor of Detroit against Cleveland. Wild stuff. All right, game number 3. We have the Boston Celtics hosting the Houston Rockets. The Celtics, 6-point home favorites. Out for the Rockets, Jabari Smith Jr. and Cam Whitmore. Out for the Celtics, Derek White and Sam Hauser. Connor going with the Houston Rockets. I'm going to go Celtics. Javon going Celtics. All right, Rockets for Eric Arrow, Trevin Jackson. Crushables Brendan also going with the Rockets. Then we got 503 and Steven going Celtics, along with Zach. All right, and then chat is going Celtics, 67% of the vote, which makes this a 7v6 in favor of the Houston Rockets. All right, game number 4. We have the Brooklyn Nets hosting the Sacramento Kings. The Kings are a whopping 12-point road favorite. Injuries for this game. Out for the Kings is no one. They are completely healthy. Out for the Nets, Trendon Watford, Cam Thomas, DeAnthony Melton, Maxwell Lewis, Bojan Bogdanovic, Cam Johnson, and Ben Simmons. 3 votes. Oof. Yeah, we gotta get chat. Actually, maybe we don't need chat voting in the chat poll, man. This is how they fall off. This is how they fall off. All right, chat, there's your poll for game numero 4. I'm gonna go Kings. Connor says the hive mind only works if there's an actual hive. Exactly. This is how they fall off. They stop putting in effort. All right, we got Kings for... All right. We're going heavy with the road teams today. Arrow Eric Trevin. Jackson 503 Brendan Crushables. I like it that way better. Just yeah, I like it that way better for sure. Especially when it's the road team, because I have to actually like open each person's folder. All right, Connor's going Kings. Javon might get himself an island at this rate. No, just kidding. We got Nets for Steven and Zach. And then 503 went with the Kings, and then Chat is going with the Kings, 89% of the vote. So not going to be in contention for their double down. All right, that makes this a 10v3 in favor of the Sacramento Kings. All right, game number 5. We have the Miami Heat hosting the Orlando Magic, a battle of Florida teams. The Magic are 1-point road favorites. Injuries for this game. Out for the Magic, Mo Wagner, Gary Harrison, Jalen Suggs. Out for the Heat, Drew Smith, Josh Richardson, Jaime Jaquez, and Jimmy Butler, because he got suspended for the 3rd time. The 3rd time Jimmy Butler has been suspended this season. Chat, there is your poll. Jimmy Butler got removed from the starting lineup, and then they're starting Haywood Highsmith over him, and he left shoot around because he was mad about that. So it's just complete dysfunction in Miami right now. It's a mess there. Despite that, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a really tough game. We got Javon and Connor going Magic. Got Magic for Eric, Arrow, Trev, and Zach. Jackson 503 and Brendan. That's good, Dara. Yeah, that's good. All right, we got Heat for Crushables and Steven. All right, I can't in my right mind go with the Heat, man. I'll go with the groupthink. All right, chat's going Magic, 90% of the vote. Very one-sided chat votes today. 11v2 in favor of Orlando. Game number 6. We got the New York Knicks hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. The Knicks, 3-point home favorites in what should be a fun matchup. Out for the Grizzlies, Vince Williams Jr., Cam Spencer, and Marcus Thomas. Out for the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson and Pacome Dadier. And then questionable is Ariel Porty. Doesn't really play, so it doesn't really matter. Chat, there's your poll. Connor's going Knicks. I'm going Knicks. Chat right now favoring the Grizzlies. Javon, Grizzlies. We got Knicks for Eric, Arrow, Zach. Jackson Crushables 503. Wow, this is a lot more one-sided than I thought. Brendan and Steven also going Knicks. A lot of people sleeping on the Grizzlies. We are very one-sided today. Chat, it's 50-50. Next vote breaks the tie. It's for the Grizzlies. So chat is going with Memphis, along with Trevin and Javon. 10v3 in favor of the Knicks. Game number 7. We got the Toronto Raptors hosting the New Orleans Pelicans in a battle of two tanking teams, or soon-to-be tanking teams. The Pelicans, 2-point road favorites. Out for the Pels, Herb Jones and Brandon Ingram. Out for the Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley and Kelly Olynyk. I don't know what to do with this game. This is another tough one. Javon is going to go Raptors. Connor Raptors. And then we got Raptors for Eric, Arrow, Trevin, Jackson. Brendan, Steven, Crushables. I'm going to go Pelicans. We got Pelicans for Zach, Pelicans for 503. The mods have become the hive mind, for real. Can you guys disagree on one game? Alright, we got chat going Pelicans. 67% of the vote. Whoops, that is the wrong team. So, me, Zach, 503, and chat going Pelicans. Everybody else going with the Toronto Raptors, 9v4 in favor of Toronto. We got 5 games left. Next game, Chicago's hosting Denver. Denver, 9.5-point road favorites. Injuries for this one. Out for the Nuggets, Deron Holmes II, Vlatko Konkar, and Spencer Jones. Out for the Bulls, Adama Sanogo, Torrey Craig, and Kobe White. I'll go Nuggets. Did I really put a Bulls logo as both? Whoops. Alright. We got Bulls for Eric, Crushables, and Steven. Connor's Nuggets, Javon is Nuggets. So is Arrow, Trevin, 503, Zach, Jackson, and Brendan. This feels like one of the favorites that we all collectively pick and get wrong. I have a feeling we're all going to get this game wrong. Chat, 100% of the vote, so we'll have to do a double down poll at the end of this between the Nuggets and I forget the other team, but this is a 10v3 in favor of the Denver Nuggets. All right, game number 9. We're to the messed up cameras. We got the Timberwolves hosting the Atlanta Hawks. The Timberwolves 10.5-point home favorites. Out for the Hawks, Cody Zeller, Jalen Johnson, Kobe Buffkin, Trae Young, Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, and then out for the Timberwolves, Terrence Shannon Jr. and Dante DiVincenzo. Chat, there's your poll. All right, we got Javon going Hawks. We got Wolves for Eric, Trevin Jackson, 503, Brendan. We got Hawks for Arrow, Zach, Crush, and Steven. Connor went with Timberwolves, whatever that is, and I'm going to go with the Atlanta Hawks. Chat is going to go Hawks, 64% of the chat vote, which makes this a 7v6 in favor of Atlanta. All right, game number 10. We got 3 left. We got the Dallas Mavericks hosting the Washington Wizards. The Dallas Mavericks are 12.5-point home favorites. Out for the Wizards, Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bagley III, and Malcolm Brogdon. Out for the Mavericks, Dwight Powell, Derek Lively II, Maxi Kleber, Dante Exum, Luka Doncic, and Najee Marshall. All right. Javon's going Wizards. I'm going to go Mavs. Wizards for Eric, Trevin, Zach. I feel like I'm agreeing with chat on everything today, or chat's agreeing with me, which chat should not copy my picks because I kind of suck this year. We got Jackson Brendan going Wizards. Mavs for Arrow, Crush, 503, and Stephen Vaughn. Chat is going to go with Mavs, 67% of the vote. And Connor is going to go with the Washington Wizards, which makes this a 7v6 in favor of the Wizards. All right, game number 11, we got the Utah Jazz hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are 9.5-point road favorites. Injuries for this one, we got Bobby Portis out for the Bucks, and then questionables Chris Middleton and AJ Green, probable Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then out for the Jazz, Cody Williams, Johnny Juzang, Taylor Hendricks, John Collins, and Walker Kessler. All right, Javon's Bucks. I'm going to take the Jazz. Everyone going Bucks except Connor, Chat, and Tori. All right. Whoops, this is the wrong logo. Honestly, I'm just gonna flip them. It's easier at that point. We are struggling today, chat. Struggling. All right, there we go. So Javon went Bucks. That's right. All right. So let's see. So Connor went Bucks. So this is an island, huh? Jackson, Trevin, Connor went Bucks, and chat is gonna go Bucks. 80% of the vote. Nice. Nice. So I got an island. This is a 12v1 in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. We like that. We like that. All right. Final game of the day. We got the Phoenix Suns hosting the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Clippers are 1.5-point road favorites. Injuries for this one. Out for the Clippers, PJ Tucker, Chris Dunn, Jordan Miller, and Cam Christie. Out for the Suns is Ryan Dunn. No Dunns will be playing in this one. Connor, those aren't rules. That's just Eric being Eric, trying to instill rules all the time. Nurkic 40 bomb. I wish. Suns for Eric Trevin 503. I'm gonna go Clippers. 40 what Gatorade cups handed out? That's funny. That is funny, man. Connor Javon going Clippers. Cloppers for Steven. Brendan Crushables. Man, we went heavy on the road teams today. It feels like that, at least. So Zach Arrow. Also Clippers. And chat is going with the Phoenix Suns. Close, though. 56% of the vote for the Suns, making this a 9v4 in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers. It's time for double downs. Time for double downs. I don't know what I want to double down on. Let me actually click through some of the games here. I'm gonna double down on the Kings. Alright, we got Eric, he doubled down on the Lakers, which right now is looking like it was a good double down. He did it ahead of time, of course, though. Alright, we got Arrow, Mavs. Oh man, these are coming in fast and furious. Connor went Pistons. Trevin went Magic. Zach went Bucks. Jackson is with me on the Sacramento Kings. We will see how that goes. All right. And then we had Crushables go Hawks. .503. Pairing up with Eric on the LA Lakers. Steven went with the other LA team. For as much as we agreed today, we're not agreeing much on the double downs. Javon is doubling down on the Magic, and Brendan is doubling down on the Magic, so I spoke too soon. And then what's chat's double down? I just say whichever 100% vote got more votes, because there was 2 of them. All right, we had 100% on the Pistons. Oh, maybe there was only one of them. The Nuggets. The Nuggets got 7 votes. The Pistons got 7 votes. Since that Pistons game has already started, we are flipping a coin, all right? Flipping a coin. Heads is Nuggets. Tails is Pistons. Chat gets the Denver Nuggets. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know the score of that Pistons game. But that is the only way to do it fairly. All right. AD has 21-11 after the first quarter. That's crazy. That is Lakers Hornets, by the way. So we got 3 for the Magic. Javon, Brendan, Trevin. We got 2 on the Kings, myself and Jackson. We got 2 on the Lakers, 503, and Eric. And then everybody else is by themselves. Zach, Bucks, Connor, Pistons, Crushables, Hawks. Aeromancer is Mavericks, Steven is Clippers, and chat is Nuggets. And that concludes picks against the spread. Thank you for your participation. Alrighty. So you got a big game in Blazerland tomorrow. The Blazers play their only nationally televised game outside of NBA TV as they take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, that's Damian Lillard returning to Portland for the second time. And we'll see what sort of ovation, maybe another tribute. I don't know. Probably not another tribute. They've already done all that in his first return to Portland. It will just be interesting to see the atmosphere in there and see if the Blazers can put together a competitive game. They've been competitive lately, even yesterday against the OKC Thunder, which they lost by 10. But, of course, the Thunder, a terrific basketball team. So, should be a fun game to watch and a fun game to recap on the postgame show after that one. We'll be going live a little bit later because I have to drive back from the game. So, it'll be about 30 to 35 minutes or so. And, of course, that's on the main channel. If you don't know the main channel, only know the second channel. I don't know how, but go check out the main channel. It's just Blazers Uprise. Yeah, so we'll see how Dame does. He was kind of quietish in his first return to Portland, you know. It was a quiet game by Dame standards, which, of course, are lofty standards. But, yeah, it will be a fun game to watch. And the big thing right now is all the trade rumors going on. Jimmy Butler suspended today after he walked out on shoot-around after being told he was going to be brought off the bench for Haywood Highsmith. It's funny because we keep talking about the Blazers' young players, talking about how they need to respond well to coming off the bench. But, you know, they're young. Jimmy Butler, of course, is a star. He's not going to take kindly to coming off the bench. So he's suspended at least 5 games. They just need to trade him. But that trade sounds like it could be extremely complicated and include multiple teams. We went through a trade last night on the post-game show near the end, looking at a 5-team trade structure that could include the Portland Trail Blazers in a Jimmy Butler trade. And it'll be interesting to see what teams are included in a Jimmy Butler trade, because if it's to the Grizzlies, it could be a 2-team trade, but more likely it's to the Suns and Bradley Beal's going somewhere and that team sending some other salary somewhere. Right now, the latest rumor is Bradley Beal's landing spot could be the Chicago Bulls, which just sounds like a very Chicago Bulls thing to do, but I would assume it would be Levine to another team who'd give them assets, and then they get rewarded with even more assets for taking on Bradley Beal's contract to officially fully start their rebuild, would be the thought process there. But according to Sam Quinn, all right, this is an article from Sam Quinn of CBS Sports. He says the Bulls have been shopping Zach LaVine for more than a year, and now that he's playing like an all-star again, there's plenty of interest in him on the market. Yeah, Zach LaVine increased his trade value through his play, something that we're not familiar with here in Portland this year, because the Portland Trail Blazers vets have just cratered their trade value. But according to Brian Windhorst, the Bulls are absolutely involved in conversations with the Suns involving possible Jimmy Butler situations and could serve as the facilitator that absorbs Beal. This would open the door to what would likely be a 5-team trade. Phoenix could get Butler. Milwaukee would get LaVine. Miami would get a package headlined by Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, and picks. And a fifth team would presumably absorb the contract of Pat Connaughton, which is interesting. The Bucks have to get below the second apron in order to aggregate salaries to match Zach LaVine. The trade package we looked at last night on the postgame show basically had the Pistons getting Beal, and then the Blazers getting Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. and a pick, and the Bucks, instead of getting LaVine, they get Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams III and a pick from Phoenix. So there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities around a Butler trade that we'll have to see how they play out. But yeah, he's suspended today for at least 5 games. And then Miles Turner's name is back in the rumor mill. For whatever reason, his name just cannot escape the rumor mill. And it's funny, this article by Sam Quinn says, I mean, come on, it wouldn't be trade season without at least one Miles Turner rumor, which is exactly how I feel, man. He's always involved in rumors, but has been with the Pacers his whole entire career. But both Jovan Buha, I don't know who that is, and Jake Fisher have acknowledged recently that there has been a bit of noise surrounding Turner during this trade cycle, though neither indicated that the Pacers are actively shopping him. Yeah, they're probably going to keep him. But if the Pacers did move Miles Turner, I think Robert Williams could be a really good fit there. They need a more impactful defensive center. Miles Turner blocks a lot of shots, but he kind of chases blocks. I think he's overrated defensively and not a good rebounder, so maybe that's a situation Portland can take advantage of. I'm not sure. But you got a lot of teams waiting for the Jimmy Butler thing to figure itself out, and then I expect you'll see a flurry of moves after that. And I don't mind waiting on a Jimmy Butler trade until like the day before the deadline. I like a jam-packed deadline. I don't like when it's spread out, so we'll see. But you got multiple teams that are in playoff races that could be buyers. The Warriors are at the front for Nikola Vucevic. The Bulls want a first-round pick, but the Warriors only want to give up seconds. And, I'm not sure that's a good sign for the Portland Trail Blazers because Vucevic is only making $20 million a year and has been better than Jeremy Grant this year. And, so better contract, better player right now. Of course, different position. So we'll have to see. Kendrick Perkins listed Cleveland as a team that should trade for a wing like a Jeremy Grant, which is funny because Jeremy Grant is a forward, not a wing, but he could slot in there at the 3 next to Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Jared Allen. That would be an intriguing fit. And there is some salary that you can work out there. The picks are a little iffy because the Cavs traded a bunch of them for Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, I think you're going to have a couple of surprises. And they might be surprises where a team keeps a player. And one of the players that's been brought up in a lot of trade conversations, Cam Johnson. Apparently the Nets want too much for him. They want 2 first-round picks, maybe unprotected picks for Cam Johnson, which is just crazy. And teams are supposedly pulling away from the trade market for him just because the Nets are demanding too much. And I guess the Nets can hang on to him, but that could be good news for the Portland Trail Blazers, because who's the backup plan to Cam Johnson? You're looking for a small forward, power forward type of guy that can shoot the 3 ball. Well, Jeremy Grant's out there. He's more expensive, but you don't have to give up as much for him. So that is something that I'm hoping as a Blazer fan that the Nets do not move off that asking price for Cam Johnson, because I think it will be easier for the Blazers to actually get something back for Jeremy Grant if teams can't land Cam Johnson. Although, you look at a team like OKC, I think they were the favorites, or at least in my mind, were the favorites for Cam Johnson. I don't see them trading for Jeremy Grant, so it might not actually affect anything. Those are just some of the latest rumors. Of course, on every post-game show, we will have an update on rumors, and we'll look at hypothetical trades based on the rumors at hand. And of course, we recap the game and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's the latest. And then we're going to be live Thursday, February 6th, the morning of the trade deadline, with live Twitter feeds on the screen, analysis. We'll break down every trade. We'll react to every trade live. It's a ton of fun. So if you've never tuned in for that, make sure you do, because that is always a good time. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them for about 5 minutes and then wrap up the stream. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Blazer questions, trade deadline questions, any of that good stuff. I'll do my best to answer them as best as I can. Detroit could take Connaughton potentially. Yes, Detroit has $15 million of cap space, and they're also going to be aggressive in terms of trying to make their team better because they are the 6th seed right now. So they are one of the most fascinating teams to watch at this trade deadline. For all the hate the Blazers front office gets, at least we're not the Bulls. I mean, yes and no. We kind of are as directionless as them. What are you going to throw when Cronin doesn't make a trade before the deadline? I mean, I'm not going to throw anything. I'm kind of expecting it. I'll be pissed for sure. You guys will know. You guys can already probably predict how I would react to that, but I don't throw things. Maybe I'll have a hat on my desk so I can chuck my hat at the wall or something. But yeah, I mean, if the Blazers make less than 2 trades, I'm going to be very frustrated. Nathan Rolfe says, I'm actually nervous. If we don't do anything, I might just give up. Haha. Yeah, if the Blazers don't do anything, it's how do you handle the rest of the year? Either you play the vets in front of the young players, or you probably sit them for the rest of the year and tank. Both kind of crappy solutions to a problem that should not be a problem. Best and worst case scenario for Portland trade deadline for you. I mean, the worst case would probably be like trading for Brandon Ingram, but also doing nothing is pretty bad. The best case scenario, you're able to trade Ayton, Grant, Simons, Robert Williams, Matisse Thybulle for all expiring contracts and get back, maybe a pick or 2. I think is the best case scenario. You get back a pick or 2, and then you have all that flexibility this upcoming offseason to accumulate assets, and you clear guys out of the way of your young players, and you solve that issue. That is the best case scenario right now, in my opinion. Chris S. says the recent starting lineup of Simons, Tumani, Grant, Denny, and Klingon is a plus 48 in their minutes so far. Is there anything to read into that, or is it just sample size, 30-some minutes? It's just sample size. I mean, that is a really good defensive lineup, but I don't think Jeremy Grant has really contributed hardly at all to that plus 48. So, yeah, Simons also has not been playing well. I think it's just mostly you had Tumani and Denny go off last night. And those guys are playing really well. And then Klingon is really, really good defensively and probably the Blazers' best center already just because of the defensive impact he has and the screens he sets. So that's your starting 3, 4, 5 going forward. But, I would not look at something like that and say, yeah, that's why you keep Grant or keep Simons. It's a 75 defensive rating. Yeah, that's impressive stuff. Impossible to maintain that level of defense, but still impressive. Airmaster says Tumani and Denny are the forward duo we needed the entire time Dame was in Portland. Yeah. I mean, you look at the Western Conference Finals team, and if you could replace Aminu and Harkless with Denny and Tumani, and if you had a healthy Nurk, that might have been a champion right there. That would have been a very fun, very good team. Where do you see Tumani's offensive ceiling? Probably like a 13, 14 point per game guy with like maybe 3 assists and, 6 boards. Hopefully shooting like 37% from 3, 38% from 3. I just think like if he's a starter on a good team, he's not going to be anything more than the 4th or 5th option, most likely the 5th option. So it's hard to see his ceiling being like a 20 point per game scorer or something like that. So Nathan Rolfe says, I'm hoping we're really excited next training camp. New coach, high lottery pick, less vets. Yeah, it's pretty simple calculation in terms of getting this fan base back and invested again. It's building around these young guys, getting an exciting new prospect, and having a new coach that knows what he's doing. Tyler Cornwall says, I feel like trading Ant to Orlando for their 2025 first and second round picks with salary filler seems like the move to me. Yeah, I think that's one of the most likely Ant trades that could net the Blazers a first round pick. Aeromaster says, I think he could easily get up to 18 points per game if he had the opportunity. I mean, yeah, if he's playing on a really bad team, but his role makes more sense on a good team. So that's how I'll analyze his ceiling. He is 24 years old, so he doesn't have that much time left before he hits his prime. I just think it's going to be, I don't know. Don't rule it out, I guess, but I just don't ever see him being like a super high-level creator. He's more glue guy, fill in the gaps, playoff guys type of player. Anyway, hit the like button on the way out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the second channel. Thank you for participating in Picks Against the Spread. We're going to be live again tomorrow night, post-game after the Blazers take on the Milwaukee Bucks. That should be a fun game to watch. So hopefully we can see you there for the post-game show. We'll see if the Blazers can beat the Bucks for the third time in a row. Are you wearing a Sun shirt? No, this is just a shirt from Kohl's. It's just the Valley. It's not specifically Suns themed, but yeah, it does look like a Suns shirt. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. We'll see what happens at the deadline. We'll cover any rumors on the post-game show coming up. We'll be live again on this channel on Thursday for another round of Picks Against the Spread. More trade rumor updates and all that good stuff. Anyway, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring the post-game. Or not the post-game. I'm so used to saying that. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring Blazers Uprise Live. I appreciate their support as always. And we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. And until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.